Imagine a time when a light bulb was not just a simple household item, but a marvel of technology. When Thomas Edison and other inventors first created commercially viable light bulbs in the late 1800s, people were amazed. They brought light into the darkness, changing the world forever. In those early days, the goal was simple: make the best light bulb possible. Companies competed to create bulbs that were not only bright, but also incredibly long-lasting. People expected these new inventions to be durable. They were seen as a long-term investment, a permanent fixture in the modern home, a beacon of progress that would shine reliably for years, if not decades. This was an era of building things to last. The early manufacturers of light bulbs were proud of their products' longevity. They advertised how many thousands of hours their bulbs could burn, with some claiming lifespans of 2,500 hours or more. This made perfect sense because, in many cases, the lighting companies did not just sell you the bulb, they sold you the entire lighting service. They owned the power plants, the wires, and the bulbs themselves. Their business model was based on providing continuous, reliable light. If a bulb burned out, it was their problem and their expense to replace it. So, a bulb that lasted longer meant more profit for them and less hassle for everyone. It was a win-win situation. This focus on durability led to some truly impressive feats of engineering. Inventors tinkered with different materials for the filament, the tiny wire inside the bulb that glows when electricity passes through it. They tried everything from bamboo to platinum before settling on carbon. The thickness and quality of this filament were key to how long the bulb would last. A thicker, more robust filament could withstand the heat for a much longer time. The glass bulbs were crafted with care, and the vacuum inside was sealed perfectly to protect the filament from burning out too quickly. Quality was the name of the game, and consumers came to expect that the wonders of science would be built to endure. So, in the beginning, the story of the light bulb was a story of constant improvement and increasing durability. It was a testament to human ingenuity and the drive to create products of lasting value. No one would have imagined that this philosophy was about to be turned completely on its head. A secret plan was being hatched in the shadows, a plan that would not only change the light bulb forever, but would also introduce a new way of thinking about every single product we buy. The era of building things to last was coming to an end, and a new, more disposable age was about to begin, all because of a conspiracy to make the light go out sooner. As the 1920s roared on, the world was changing rapidly. The light bulb industry had grown into a massive global business, with a few powerful companies dominating the market. These giants, including Osram from Germany, Philips from the Netherlands, and General Electric from the United States, saw a problem. Their light bulbs were lasting too long. While that sounds like a good thing for us, the consumers, it was a bad thing for their profits. When a bulb lasted for years, people did not need to buy new ones very often. Sales would eventually flatten out, and growth would stop. The companies wanted a way to keep people buying more bulbs, more often. So, on a winter day in 1924, representatives from these major companies met in Geneva, Switzerland. They formed a secret international group they called the Phoebus Cartel. Phoebus was a name for the Greek god of light, but their goal was to dim the future of the very products they sold. Their plan was simple and audacious. They would all agree to secretly work together to make their light bulbs worse. They decided to standardize the lifespan of a typical incandescent bulb to a maximum of just 1,000 hours. This was a huge reduction from the 1,500 to 2,500 hours that were common at the time. The Phoebus Cartel was incredibly organized. They set up committees and technical groups to make sure every member company complied with the new 1,000-hour limit. They even established a system of fines. If a company sold a bulb that was found to last longer than the agreed-upon limit, they had to pay a penalty. This wasn't about making better products. It was about controlling the market and ensuring a steady stream of sales. By making bulbs fail faster, they could guarantee that customers would have to come back and buy replacements. This secret agreement was the first large-scale documented case of a new, powerful business strategy. The public had no idea this was happening. When their light bulbs started burning out more frequently, people just assumed it was normal. They didn't know that the lifespan of their bulbs was being intentionally shortened by the very companies that made them. The cartel's plan worked perfectly. Sales of light bulbs soared as people were forced to replace them more than twice as often. The profits of the member companies skyrocketed. The Phoebus Cartel had successfully re-engineered not just the light bulb, but the entire business model of manufacturing, paving the way for a new economic idea that would change the world. While the Phoebus Cartel was busy making their products less durable, a small, unassuming light bulb in a fire station in Livermore, California, was quietly proving what was possible. This bulb is known as the Centennial light, and it is a living legend. It was first turned on in 1901 and has been burning almost continuously ever since. For over 120 years, this little bulb has been doing its job, day in and day out. It has outlasted generations of firefighters, witnessed incredible changes in technology, and has even been watched by millions of people around the world via a dedicated webcam. It stands as a powerful symbol of a time when things were built to last. The secret to the Centennial light's incredible longevity lies in its design. It was created by the Shelby Electric Company in the late 1890s, and its inventor, Adolphe Chaillet, was focused on durability. The bulb has a carbon filament, which was common for its time, but its filament is about 8 times thicker than the filament in a modern incandescent bulb. It is also a different type of filament, a hand-blown piece of carbon that is incredibly robust. Because it is thicker, it can glow for a very long time without burning through. Sure, it doesn't glow as brightly as a modern bulb. It puts out about as much light as a small 4-watt nightlight, but its purpose was just to provide a steady, reliable source of light. The very existence of the Centennial light is a powerful piece of evidence against the idea that bulbs just naturally have short lives. It proves that the technology to create extremely long-lasting light bulbs existed more than a century ago. The reason we didn't get them is not because it was impossible, but because the companies in the Phoebus Cartel decided it wasn't profitable. They chose to move away from thick, durable carbon filaments and toward thinner, more fragile tungsten filaments. Tungsten could get hotter and produce a brighter, whiter light, but it was also engineered to burn out much faster, right around that 1,000-hour mark. So, every time you see a picture of the Centennial light, still glowing after all these years, remember what it represents. It is a ghost from a different era of manufacturing, an era before the Great Lightbulb Conspiracy. It challenges the throwaway culture that the cartel helped create. It silently asks a simple question. If we could make a light bulb that lasts for over a century back in 1901, why are we still buying new ones every year? The answer has less to do with science and technology, and more to do with business, and a strategy designed to keep us buying. The secret strategy of the Phoebus Cartel needed a name. Decades later, it would get one: planned obsolescence. This is a fancy term for a very simple idea. Designing a product with an artificially limited lifespan, so it will become obsolete or useless after a certain period of time. This isn't about a product accidentally breaking down. It is about intentionally making it fail. The goal is to force the consumer to buy a new one. The light bulb was the first major product to have obsolescence planned into its very DNA, but it certainly would not be the last. This idea marked a fundamental shift in the world of manufacturing. Before planned obsolescence, the main goal was to build the best product possible. A company's reputation was built on quality, durability, and reliability. An engineer's job was to solve problems and make things last longer. But the Phoebus Cartel changed the rules. Suddenly, the engineer's job was to solve a different kind of problem: how to make a product fail predictably after a certain amount of time. They had to find the sweet spot where the product lasted long enough for the customer to trust the brand, but not so long that they wouldn't need to buy another one soon. It was a complete reversal of traditional engineering principles. Think about it this way. Planned obsolescence can be achieved in many ways. You can use lower quality materials that you know will wear out, like using plastic gears instead of metal ones. You can design a product so that one small, crucial part is likely to break and make that part impossible to replace. This is called contrived durability. Or, as we see today with electronics, you can make a product obsolete through software. A perfectly good phone might stop working with new apps simply because the company decides to stop providing updates for it. The Lightbulb Conspiracy was the blueprint for all of these strategies. The introduction of planned obsolescence with the light bulb was a turning point in our history as consumers. It taught companies that they could make more money by selling us products that were designed to die. It slowly began to change our expectations. We stopped expecting things to last a lifetime. Instead, we got used to the cycle of buying, using, and discarding. This concept, born in a secret meeting about light bulbs, would spread like wildfire, shaping the design of almost every product we use today, and creating a culture of disposability that has massive consequences for our planet. The idea of planned obsolescence was just, honestly, way too profitable to stay confined to only light bulbs. Pretty soon, other industries saw the genius behind the strategy and started to adopt it for themselves. One of the first and most famous examples was the automobile industry. In the early 20th century, Henry Ford was famous for his Model T. He famously said customers could have it in any color so long as it is black. His focus was on making one car, the same car, that was durable, reliable, and affordable for everyone. He really wanted to build a car that would last. But a rival company, General Motors, had a different idea, inspired by the same thinking as the Lightbulb Cartel. Instead of selling one car that lasted forever, General Motors, under the leadership of Alfred P. Sloan, introduced the idea of the annual model change. Starting in the 1920s, GM began releasing new and slightly different car models every single year. They changed the shape of the fenders, added more chrome, offered new colors, and tweaked the engine. The cars from last year weren't suddenly broken, but they were suddenly out of style. This is called obsolescence of desirability. GM created a system where people were encouraged to buy a new car, not because their old one was worn out, but because they wanted the latest, most fashionable model. This strategy was incredibly successful, and soon became the standard for the entire auto industry. People were no longer buying a car to last them 15 or 20 years. They were buying a car to last them until the next exciting model came out. The focus shifted from engineering durability to designing for desire, and this way of thinking quickly spread to other industries. Think about kitchen appliances in the 1950s and 60s. Suddenly, you could get a refrigerator or an oven in fashionable colors like avocado green or harvest gold. Your old white refrigerator still kept food cold, but it looked old-fashioned, creating the pressure to upgrade. From cars and refrigerators, the idea of planned obsolescence, well, it infected every corner of the manufacturing world. Fashion, with its constantly changing seasons and styles, is a perfect example of planned obsolescence. Furniture, toys, and even tools started to be designed with a limited lifespan, either in function or in fashion. The seed that was planted by the Phoebus Cartel had grown into a mighty tree, and its branches reached into every part of our consumer lives. The world had been re-engineered to encourage us to always want something new, and to be honestly, just a little dissatisfied with what we already have. Look around your own home. The legacy of the Lightbulb conspiracy is everywhere. It's in the electronics we use, the printers we rely on, and the smartphones that rarely leave our sides. Modern electronics are, honestly, a masterclass in planned obsolescence. How many times have you heard that it's actually cheaper to buy a new printer than to replace the ink cartridges? This isn't an accident. Many printer manufacturers design their cartridges with special microchips that tell the printer the cartridge is empty long before the ink actually runs out. They also make it difficult or even impossible to use third-party or refilled cartridges, locking you into their expensive ecosystem. Smartphones are perhaps the most visible example of planned obsolescence today. A new model is released every year, with just slightly better cameras and faster processors. But the real trick is in the software and the battery. After a couple of years, you might notice your phone starts to slow down. It struggles to run new apps, and the battery doesn't hold a charge like it used to. Companies stop providing critical software updates for older models, which not only prevents you from using new features, but can also make your phone less secure. The battery is often sealed inside the phone, making it very difficult and expensive for an average person to replace. The message is clear. It's time to buy a new one. This strategy extends beyond just making things break. It's also about making them impossible to repair. Many modern gadgets are sealed shut with glue, and they require special tools to even open them. Companies often refuse to sell spare parts to independent repair shops, and they design their products in a way that makes fixing them a total nightmare. This prevention of repair is a deliberate choice. It pushes you away from fixing the perfectly good device you already own and toward the checkout line for a brand new one. It's the same principle as the 1,000-hour light bulb, just adapted for the digital age. This throwaway culture has become so normal that we barely even question it. We expect our phones to last about 2 years, our laptops for maybe 4 or 5, and our printers to be a source of constant frustration. We have been trained by decades of planned obsolescence to be consumers, not owners. We don't own our devices in a way that allows us to repair and maintain them for a long time. We're just leasing them until the next model comes out. This cycle of buy, use, and discard started with a simple light bulb, and now it really defines our relationship with almost all of the technology in our lives. It's easy to look at planned obsolescence and see it as a purely negative thing, a greedy trick played on consumers. While there's definitely truth to that, it's also important to understand why this model became so widespread and powerful. The main reason, of course, is economic. For a company, planned obsolescence is a guarantee of future sales, a constant cycle of replacement fuels continuous production, which drives revenue and profits. For a national economy, this means more factories stay open, more people are employed in manufacturing and sales, and there's a steady flow of economic activity. This idea is often called the engine of our economy. This cycle of production and consumption also helps to drive innovation, or at least the appearance of it. When a company knows you'll be buying a new phone in 2 years, they have a powerful incentive to add new features to convince you to choose their product. This leads to a rapid pace of technological development. Cameras get better, screens get brighter, and processors get faster, because companies are constantly competing for your next purchase. If we all bought one phone and kept it for 10 years, the pace of innovation would likely slow down dramatically. The constant demand for new and improved products pushes companies to invest in research and development. Furthermore, planned obsolescence has played a role in making technology more accessible to more people. The process of constantly redesigning and manufacturing products often leads to cheaper production methods. The first version of a new technology is often very expensive, but as companies refine the process for the second, third, and fourth generations, the price tends to come down. The phone in your pocket today is vastly more powerful than a room-sized supercomputer from a few decades ago, yet it's affordable for billions of people. Part of that affordability comes from the mass production economy that planned obsolescence helps to sustain. So, while it is a cynical strategy, planned obsolescence is not without its arguments. It creates jobs, stimulates economic growth, and accelerates the development and affordability of new technologies. It's a system that feeds on our desire for the latest and greatest, and in turn, it provides a constant stream of new products to satisfy that desire. The problem is that this system was designed in a time when we didn't fully understand its long-term consequences. It's a system that sees endless growth as a good thing, without considering the finite resources of our planet. The economic benefits of planned obsolescence come at a tremendous cost, and that cost is paid by our environment. The buy, use, and discard cycle has created a global waste crisis. Every time we throw away a phone, a printer, or a toaster because it's broken, irreparable, or just out of style, it ends up in a landfill. This mountain of waste is growing every single day. In North America alone, an estimated 350 million printer cartridges are thrown away every year, many of them still containing usable ink. This electronic waste, or e-waste, is the fastest growing stream of garbage in the world. This e-waste is not just ugly, it is also incredibly toxic. Our electronic gadgets are filled with heavy metals like lead, mercury, and cadmium, as well as harmful chemicals. When these devices are dumped in landfills, these toxins can leak out and contaminate the soil and groundwater, poisoning ecosystems, and potentially harming human health. The process of constantly manufacturing new products also uses a huge amount of resources. We have to mine for precious metals, drill for oil to make plastics, and use vast amounts of water and energy, all to create products that we know are designed to be thrown away in a short amount of time. The philosophy of planned obsolescence is fundamentally unsustainable on a finite planet. We cannot continue to consume resources and produce waste at this rate forever. The model that powered our economy for the 20th century is showing its cracks in the 21st. The environmental damage is becoming too obvious to ignore. From the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, a floating island of plastic waste, to the toxic e-waste dumps in developing countries, the consequences of our throwaway culture are all around us. The short-term profit generated by making a light bulb that fails after 1,000 hours has led to a long-term environmental disaster. This is the dark side of the Great Lightbulb Conspiracy. The decision made in that meeting in 1924 did more than just sell more light bulbs. It set us on a path of unsustainable consumption. It taught us to value the new over the durable, and to see disposable as convenient. We are now faced with the challenge of undoing that legacy. We have to find a new way to think about the things we make and buy, a way that is not based on a cycle of waste, but on principles of sustainability, durability, and respect for our planet's resources. Just as technology was used to create planned obsolescence, new technology is now helping us to fight back. The world of lighting itself is leading the way, coming full circle from the days of the Phoebus Cartel. The development of LED, or light-emitting diode, bulbs has completely changed the game. Unlike the fragile filaments of incandescent bulbs, LEDs are solid-state devices that are much more durable. Manufacturers now claim that a typical LED bulb can last for 25,000 to 50,000 hours. That's 25 to 50 times longer than the 1,000-hour standard set by the cartel. We are finally back to making light bulbs that are designed to last for decades. This shift is not just happening with light bulbs. A growing movement of consumers, activists, and lawmakers is pushing back against planned obsolescence in all its forms. People are demanding the right to repair. They want companies to make spare parts available, to publish repair manuals, and to design products that can be easily fixed. In response, some governments in Europe and the United States are starting to pass laws that require manufacturers to make their products more repairable. People are getting tired of the throwaway culture and are starting to demand products that offer real, long-term value. Some forward-thinking companies are starting to listen. They see a business opportunity in sustainability. Instead of designing for obsolescence, they are designing for longevity. Companies like Fairphone are creating modular smartphones that are easy to repair and upgrade, so you can replace just the camera or the battery instead of the whole phone. Electric car companies like Tesla send out remote software updates that can actually improve the performance of a car you already own, a concept known as inverse obsolescence. These companies are betting that consumers will choose durable, sustainable products if they are given the choice. The story that began with a conspiracy to make things break is now entering a new chapter. We are more aware than ever of the economic tricks and environmental costs of planned obsolescence. From the humble, ever-burning Centennial light to the long-lasting LEDs in our homes today, we have proof that we can do better. By demanding more from the companies we buy from, by supporting the right to repair, and by choosing durability over disposability, we can all help to build a brighter, more sustainable future. The power, just like in a light bulb, is in our hands to make a change.